So it's spring, we're starting to get some warm days, and my first round of young birds are getting their first experience with a bath. It's really fun to watch them learn how to do this stuff. Plus I get to spend some time observing the birds and seeing what their personalities are like, and it's really fun to do that. After they got all soggy, I let them into the loft. I come in, I sit down with them, enjoy feeding them. Doesn't take long and they get real tame with me. They come sit on my lap, eat out of my hand. Get them used to hanging out with people. Hey guys, welcome back to another one. This is Chris with Treasure Loft Racing Pigeons. Today we are making a new, updated, improved feeder. I got a lot of comments on that last one that I made, and I have a friend who's asked me to make some pigeon feeders for him. So I am building some new ones. These are new and improved versions. I'll show you kind of what I'm doing to change the design a little bit so that they're a little bit better for the pigeons. So come along, take a look at what I'm doing, and hope you enjoy this one. Thanks, guys. All right, so I'm going to show you my old design and talk about what I'm changing here so that this works a little bit better. So take a look at this one. All right, so this is the old pigeon feeder. Works incredibly good. So the material I'm building this one out of is the cedar fence post, and it's super soft, super wimpy, and for me in my loft that's okay because it saves a ton of money, and if it breaks it's super cheap to replace, and so yeah, that's why I use that, and it works really good. But so what I'm going to do instead is I'm using common board. This is semi-hardwood. It's not really a hardwood, but it's semi-hardwood. So the durability is going to be a lot better, a lot stronger. And yeah, so hopefully that'll make a nice feeder. The other thing, if you look at this design here, the gaps between these openings are really narrow. There's not a lot of space between these two. And I've noticed that when the pigeons try to eat in here, their shoulders push against each other and they kind of have to fight each other a little bit to get into the openings. Like if they're all lined up, there's 5 pigeons here, their shoulders are all squeezed together so that they can't comfortably get in there. They have to press against each other to make that. So what I'm going to do is make these gaps a little bit bigger. The holes will be farther apart. So I've got a few of the boards cut already. As you can see, I've got a piece that's for the top. I'm making 4 feeders. There's one there, another top. Down here I've got pieces cut for the sides. Each of those is a side for 2 different sized feeders. I got a couple more to go here, so let's cut a few more boards. All right, so I will give you all of the dimensions that I'm using to make these here in just a little bit, but this side piece is 45 inches. All right, so I'm going to show you the dimensions of these. So if you guys ever wanted to build these, you can just follow this, or you can make them pretty much any size that you want. Just follow the same pattern. So if you have more birds than this, or if you have less birds than this, I mean, obviously you can make one this size for just a few birds, or for a grit feeder. So we're making two small feeders, smaller. They're not small, but they're smaller, and we're making two bigger ones. So the dimensions for the smaller ones. So this is the top. You can see I've written on there top piece, exactly 34 inches. Okay. I'm making two of them, so I got two tops. The bottom, 31 inches. Got two bottoms. We got sides, 31 inches. And then the end that goes on the end right here, this is 6 1/4 inches in length. Now, I forgot to mention that this is 1 by 6, 1 inch by 6 inch, and it is common board. It will be very sturdy when they're all assembled. So 1 by 6. All right. So that's all our pieces. Now on the sides, we got to put in these holes. Okay. So I'll show you the dimensions of that. On the side, we are going to come up 3.5 inches. And that's going to be the center of the hole. Okay, so the center of this hole is there. Sorry. So the center of this hole is 3.5 inches from the bottom of the side, not including this, the bottom. Now, this is just an example of how the cedar wood slats kind of get crappy. They crack, they dry out really easy. So I don't mind that, but I'm making these for a friend, so I'm making them quite a bit nicer. So, and then the holes I was saying are too close together. So from side to side, I'm going to make 2 inches from one opening to the next. So I'm going to mark those out, and that'll be the two small ones. Okay. Now I'm going to do the top for the big ones. And this is the dimension that I'm making for the big one. So the top piece is 4 feet, 48 inches. Okay. The sides are 45 inches. And the bottoms are underneath, and they're also 45 inches. So you can see that in the construction of this one, the side is the same length as the bottom. And the end pieces connect with the bottom here. So yeah, the sides and the bottom are the same dimension, which for the big ones is 45 inches. So, and the sides again are the exact same. The holes are going to be the exact same. The center of the hole is going to be right here. Center of the hole from the bottom of the side, not including the bottom, is going to be 3.5 inches. And every hole from the side of the hole to the side of the hole is going to be 2 inches apart. Okay. All right. That's the dimensions. So I'm going to get busy drilling all these holes. There's going to be a ton of them. So I'm going to measure these out, and wish me luck. It's going to take a while, but it'll end up being a really good feeder. So, all right, guys, hang tight. So center of the hole comes up to 3.5 inches. Just going to go down and mark that all the way down one of the sides here. Good. Okay, now we'll use another straight edge to draw that line all the way across. There we go. So that line will be the center of the holes. I'm going to do that on all of them. Okay, now that I got the height of the center of the hole marked, I'm going to draw a line where each of spacing of the openings is going to be. Okay, after playing around with these openings a little bit, I've decided to do something just a little different. So in order for it to fit really well, this is going to be the sizes of the opening, and from center to center of the next opening. So this is the next, there we go. So from this opening right here, this is the center. We're going to go 1.5 inches to the next one. And then that's the next opening, and this is the center. From center to center is 4 inches. And we're just going to go 4 inches all the way down. And for this size of box, that's what works. So each of these marks is the center of the new opening. So there we go. So let's start drilling some holes. This is a 2.5 inch bit. It's got a lot of oil on it, so I got to go clean it. We'll clean that and we'll get started here. I'm going to show you what I mean here. So when you remove this, on the opposite side, you have the openings already started. Okay, so what I do is I flip this over. I'm going to clamp that guy back down. All right, guys. This is the last hole. I drilled 76 of these. I am happy to be done with the last one. There we go. There we go. 76 holes done. All right. So now that we got all these holes drilled out, we need to clean them up. We don't want sharp edges or slivers to snag on the feathers as they reach in here. So we are going to just clean these up. That's our next step. All right. Okay, so if you guys remember back to my other video, when I was smoothing out these holes, I used a Dremel tool. And of course that's not ideal, and it makes for rough surfaces and all uneven and gouged out and everything. So what I did is I just went over to Harbor Freight and I picked up a really inexpensive router, and so I'm going to route out these openings so that they're very smooth, much better than the Dremel. I had to take a break from this stuff and take a few days to do some other projects that I needed to do. I had to wean the babies and a couple other things, busy with work. So I'm back. We're working on these feeders. I've got a couple of them assembled. Got our hinges placed in here, all put together. Just right for pig pots if you decide to put those in there. Nice tight fit. See, I've got the hinges there. Now I'm going to put a little divider in here to help stabilize this. You can see it flexes just a little bit. I'm going to put one single divider here to make these so that they don't collapse on themselves. And then there are a couple of spots that I have knots. This is one of them, so I've filled this with some sawdust and some wood glue so that I could smooth that out a little bit and it wouldn't bother the feathers on the birds. So I've got that all done. That feeder, 4 foot long. Got another one of those, 4 foot long there. And then I have just a tiny little bit to finish up on these 2 3-footers. Just put the sides on and we'll be done. So I'm going to sand down some of those spots with the wood glue. There was another one. Where is it? Right here. This knot had a big gap right there. So I put some wood glue and some sawdust together and put it in there. I'm going to smooth those guys out. And then we should be good. There's another one. You can see that little spot right there. I'm going to fill that with some wood glue. I'm going to sand it out, get the bark out of there, and then we'll put some wood glue in it and we'll sand it smooth. All right, let's go do it. These holes are much better. That's it. That hole is smooth. We'll sand off the surface of that guy and then we'll be good. Okay, we got another knot that is next to one of the openings, so I filled it with some glue and sawdust. So we're going to sand these guys down. When I get done with all of these, we'll come back and we'll check back in. Are all done. It's a pretty fantastic pigeon feeder, guys. Love these designs. Okay. On these smaller ones, these 3 foot long ones, they're There's a little bit of flex in there. I may put one divider in there. Let's do that. All right, so we got this little divider here, and we're gonna punch that in. All right, so I got all four done. Now all four of these are going to get shipped to a friend of mine. They look great. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me. That's it for this one. Make sure you come back for the next episode. Let me know if you guys tried this, how it goes for your birds. Alrighty, we'll catch you on the next one. Make sure you subscribe and like the videos, and we'll see you next time.